The iron key turns with a grinding screech. Stone steps descend into darkness, each footfall echoing off damp walls. The air grows thick with the smell of rust, fear, and something far worse. Torchlight flickers across chains and pulleys. This is your workplace. This is your life as a medieval torturer. Welcome to the 14th century Europe, where justice flows not from courtrooms, but from castle dungeons. You live in an age where confession is king, and your hands are the instruments that extract truth from trembling lips. The medieval world operates on a simple principle. Pain reveals sin, and sin must be purged. Your craft emerges from a collision of Roman law, Christian theology, and feudal power. Pope Innocent IV's papal bull Ad Extirpanda has sanctioned torture in heresy cases since 1252. Kings and lords have embraced it as the fastest route to confession. The Inquisition spreads across Europe like wildfire, and with it, the demand for your particular skills. You exist in a world where trial by ordeal still echoes in legal tradition, where God's judgment is sought through suffering. The rack, the wheel, the Iron Maiden, these aren't symbols of cruelty, but tools of divine justice. At least that's what the priests tell you. Medieval society operates on confession-based justice. Without modern forensics or detective work, authorities rely on admissions of guilt. Your role isn't to punish. That comes later, often publicly. Your job is extraction, pulling confessions from suspected heretics, traitors, thieves, and murderers. You work in the shadows so justice can shine in the light. The church provides theological cover, claiming that saving a soul through earthly pain prevents eternal damnation. Secular lords want confessions to legitimize executions and property seizures. You're caught between heaven and earth, serving both God and gold. You didn't choose this profession, it chose you. Most torturers are recruited from society's margins. Former soldiers too broken for battle, executioners' apprentices, blacksmiths who've lost their shops, or men fleeing their past. Some inherit the position through family trades, passed down like any other craft from father to son. Your training begins as an apprentice to the castle's master torturer. He teaches you anatomy, which joints dislocate easiest, where pressure creates maximum pain without death. You learn to read faces, to detect the moment when defiance cracks into compliance. Most importantly, you master restraint. A dead prisoner confesses nothing. The position offers surprising stability in an uncertain world. While peasants starve during harsh winters, you receive regular wages, typically equivalent to a skilled craftsman's pay, about 30 to 40 deniers per month. The Lord provides lodging, usually a small chamber near the dungeon, and sometimes meals. It's steady work in unstable times. Your social status occupies a peculiar middle ground. You're neither peasant nor nobility, existing in society's shadow spaces. Some fear you, others despise you, but all need you. Children cross themselves when you pass, yet magistrates seek your counsel. You're both pariah and professional. The risks are considerable. Prisoner families sometimes seek revenge. Religious authorities occasionally turn against their own instruments. Political winds shift, and yesterday's heretic hunters become today's targets. You've witnessed torturers dragged from their beds by angry mobs or abandoned by lords seeking political distance. Training includes understanding legal procedures. You must know when to apply pressure and when to stop. Confessions extracted too hastily might be dismissed by courts. Those taken too slowly waste resources and risk prisoner death. You walk a razor's edge between effectiveness and excess. Your workshop resembles a blacksmith's forge crossed with a physician's surgery. Each tool serves specific purposes, designed not for killing, but for extracting truth through calculated discomfort. The rack dominates the chamber, wooden frame with ropes and pulleys that slowly stretch bodies until joints pop and muscles tear. It's your most reliable instrument, producing confessions with methodical precision. The strappado hangs from ceiling beams, ropes that hoist prisoners by their wrists tied behind their backs. Shoulders dislocate with audible pops. Weights attached to feet increase pressure. It's economical, requires minimal maintenance, and produces quick results. Most prisoners confess within minutes. Thumb screws and leg screws apply focused pressure to small areas. Iron devices tighten slowly, crushing digits or shuns with mechanical advantage. They're portable, quiet, and leave minimal visible damage, useful when prisoners must appear before judges. The iron boot encases the leg in metal plates that tighten with hammered wedges. Each blow drives wooden or iron wedges deeper, slowly crushing bone. It's psychological warfare as much as physical. The anticipation between hammer strikes often breaks resolve before bones break. Water torture requires only cloth, buckets, and a tilted board. Prisoners lie restrained while water-soaked fabric covers their face. Each pore simulates drowning without actual death. It leaves no marks but creates overwhelming panic. Simple tools, devastating effectiveness. Your brazier keeps iron implements glowing red hot. Heated metal applied to skin creates immediate, intense pain and permanent scars. The sight of approaching hot iron often produces confessions before contact. The smell of burning flesh fills the chamber like incense in a dark cathedral. Each device requires maintenance. Ropes must be oiled, metal components kept rust-free, wooden frames checked for weakness. A broken rack during interrogation undermines your professional reputation and might allow prisoners to escape justice. Your day begins before dawn with chamber inspection. Torches must be lit, tools arranged, brazier stoked. The dungeon's dampness rusts metal overnight, so you oil hinges and clean surfaces. Preparation prevents failure during critical moments. Morning brings prisoner examination. You assess each captive's physical condition, age, and apparent resolve. Elderly prisoners require gentler methods to avoid premature death. Young, strong subjects might need extended sessions. Pregnant women and children follow special protocols. Church doctrine provides specific guidelines. Guards escort prisoners to your chamber based on judicial schedules. Magistrates, church officials, or noble representatives often observe proceedings, requiring professional presentation. You explain procedures, demonstrate equipment, and maintain decorum befitting a legal process. Sessions themselves vary dramatically. Some prisoners confess immediately upon seeing your tools. Others require hours of methodical pressure application. You monitor breathing, pulse, and consciousness levels. Medical knowledge keeps subjects alive for extended questioning. Documentation consumes significant time. You record confessions word for word, note which methods produced results, and maintain equipment logs. These records support legal proceedings and help refine techniques for future cases. Afternoons involve equipment maintenance and prisoner care. Subjects requiring medical attention receive basic treatment, not from mercy but necessity. Dead prisoners can't confess to additional crimes or implicate accomplices. Evenings bring solitude in your chamber. Few invite a torturer to social gatherings. You eat alone, often dining on the same rations as prisoners. Sleep comes uneasily, interrupted by screams echoing from stone walls, sometimes real, sometimes memory. Your workspace becomes both office and home. Personal belongings mix with professional tools. Religious iconography decorates walls, crucifixes and saints watching over your dark work. You pray regularly, seeking divine forgiveness for necessary sins committed in service of holy justice. Medieval society views you through conflicting lenses. Church doctrine sanctifies your work as God's will manifests through human hands. Papal bulls and theological treatises justify torture as spiritual surgery, cutting away lies to reveal truth beneath. Yet the same priests who bless your work avoid your presence at market squares. Common folk whisper when you pass. Children hide behind their mother's skirts. Merchants offer fair prices but count coins quickly, eager to end transactions. You're simultaneously God's agent and the devil's instrument, necessary yet tainted by your trade. Noble employers appreciate your services while maintaining careful distance. Lords feast you during successful interrogations, but exclude you from court celebrations. You serve power without belonging to it, forever existing in society's margins despite your essential role. Personal morality becomes increasingly complex. Each confession might save a soul from damnation or destroy an innocent life. You witness guilt and innocence blur under pressure. Some prisoners confess to crimes they never committed just to stop the pain. Others maintain innocence despite overwhelming evidence. Religious instruction provides intellectual justification, but emotional comfort proves elusive. Your confessor speaks of divine will and necessary evils, yet nightmares persist. The screams of the guilty and innocent sound identical in darkness. Professional pride conflicts with human empathy. You take satisfaction in extracting confessions that solve crimes and protect communities. Catching murderers and thieves serves justice, yet breaking human beings, regardless of guilt, leaves spiritual scars deeper than any physical wound. Some colleagues develop emotional callousness, treating prisoners as mere objects requiring mechanical manipulation. Others maintain humanity through mental compartmentalization, separating professional duty from personal conscience. You search for balance between effectiveness and empathy, serving justice while preserving your soul. Years of this work leave indelible marks on body and spirit. Your hands, once steady enough for delicate rope work, now shake from tension and exhaustion. Sleep becomes increasingly elusive as memories accumulate like sediment in a riverbed. Every face you've broken haunts quiet moments. Physical health deteriorates from dungeon conditions. Constant dampness breeds cough that racks your chest each winter. Poor lighting strains eyes until reading becomes difficult. The smell of fear and pain saturates clothing and skin, creating a permanent aura others instinctively avoid. Professional reputation cuts both ways. Your skill at extracting confessions makes you valuable to authorities, but dangerous to possess. Political climates shift rapidly in medieval courts. Today's heretic hunter becomes tomorrow's target when alliances change. Smart torturers maintain escape plans and hidden savings. Social isolation intensifies with age. Marriage becomes increasingly unlikely as years pass. What woman would share bed with hands that break bodies for coin? What children would claim a torturer as father? You age alone, surrounded by tools of your trade and memories of screams. Retirement options remain limited. Some torturers transition to executioner roles, their expertise in causing pain adapting to ending life. Others flee to distant lands, hoping geography provides redemption. A few find sanctuary in monasteries, seeking divine forgiveness through prayer and penance. The psychological toll compounds annually. Guilt, regardless of religious justification, accumulates like water behind a dam. Some colleagues develop drinking problems. Others turn to gambling or violence. Madness lurks in dungeon corners, waiting for weak moments. Your legacy becomes whispered warnings passed between generations. Children learn your name as cautionary tale. Historians may record your confessions and legal contributions, but popular memory focuses on suffering inflicted rather than justice served. By the late 1500s and early 1600s, the job you've done for years begins to fade. Judges, priests, and scholars start to doubt whether confessions gained under pain are even true. Some courts limit how and when torture can be used. Others ban the worst devices altogether. For you, this means fewer orders, fewer sessions, and a slow loss of status. Where you were once central to every investigation, magistrates now prefer written evidence, witness accounts, or new methods of inquiry. Thinkers like Cesare Beccaria argue that justice should be based on proof rather than pain. As the Enlightenment spreads, many kingdoms abolish judicial torture entirely. Some torturers become jailers or executioners. Others simply disappear into obscurity. Yet the debates and records left behind shape later ideas about policing, questioning, and human rights. Your legacy is mixed. On one hand, you're a symbol of medieval cruelty. On the other, you're a warning about how any justice system can go wrong. The end of your job does not erase its lessons. Even today, historians and ethicists study your work to understand the ties between law, power, and morality. Could you have survived this life? Would desperation force you into such dark work? Or would you have found another way? Like this video if it made you think, comment with how you'd handle medieval justice, and subscribe for more living history episodes. Next week, your life as a medieval plague doctor, another job walking the line between helping and harming. Thanks for stepping into history's shadows with me. See you in the past.